Okay, we're done here. Um, all right, so I'm sure you can all unmute yourself now.
Okay, now I can unmute myself.
Okay, awesome. All right, thank you guys for the game. So, Michael, do you want to let me allow you so you can share your screen? Hold on, let me stop.
I think it wasn't the most exciting of games. I'm usually wide in this position, and I'm kind of aware it's hard to break through, and with wide if we get this kind of setup. But okay, I don't know.
I wasn't very familiar with the theory here. I think I didn't play the opening correctly.
Yeah, I think after queen b3, I think queen c7 is the main move somehow, but I wanted to play queen b6.
Can you go to the part where you played like h5?
If h5, yeah.
And gh.
There was one maybe moment where I had something. I thought h5 was timed well, but I don't know if it was well timed in reality. After takes, bishop h5 g6, I felt as if I had no breakthrough in this position. I couldn't play bishop takes g6, so maybe my h5 was mistimed. Maybe I could do more with.
I think he has a question after h5.
Oh, after h5. Okay, h5.
And then gh.
Yeah.
Bishop h5, g6. Why not bishop g6, knight g6, then rook h7?
I was looking at that actually, and I was saying, and I was looking at so takes, check here, takes, and I couldn't make up my mind whether this was at all worthwhile. I didn't think so, but maybe I was wrong.
Yeah, so rook takes c7, the bishop doesn't work because the rook on h1 is also hanging.
Excuse me?
Yeah, there was a little tactic there. So the rook cannot take the bishop after rook takes, because rook h1 is hanging too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after king g8, I cannot take the bishop, of course. So I was considering this, but I couldn't make up my mind whether this was at all worthwhile or a waste. Obviously, knight g6 could be played, knight f7. Black has to decide.
Bring up a pawn after you take. There's the rook which comes in.
Yeah.
So rook like here, I would do rook d7 because it kind of like stops like that attack which you can do with the bishop. So overall, I think you'll be up a pawn.
Yeah.
The knight is attacked now, right?
Yeah, and if not,
I mean, if black has to play, the only move it looks to me like for black is knight g6. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
Knight g6, rook to h6.
Maybe d6 first. There might be something here.
There might be something here, yeah.
Because I probably have to give back the piece, and then you have this long diagonal and rook h6 ideas. I mean, I don't want to play bishop b8, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of stuck down there.
I should have definitely played this.
And let's try bishop takes d6 here. Let's try this, and then pawn takes. Rook h6, I guess.
Yeah.
But maybe knight
f7.
Yeah, then rook h7 then. Maybe knight f8 here.
Knight f8.
Maybe I'm still very solid.
Black is ahead by a pawn, but g6 looks tough.
Okay, yeah, okay, I see.
Oh wait, 1 second. E5.
Okay, e5 is a pop.
E5 is
h8 checkmate.
Still going for black.
Oh.
No, I don't see a direct knockout. G6, knight f8. I don't see a direct knockout here. G6, c5. It's nothing apparently.
Bishop e5 first.
Oh, bishop e5. Yes, of course.
Looks very dangerous.
Looks dangerous. Correct. Well, I missed.
I have another question.
Some interesting tactics.
If you go back to h5 after h takes g6.
Yes. This position?
Yeah. After take back with bishop, check.
Takes, yes,
Then g6.
yes.
What about d5?
D5 I didn't like because of rook takes h5.
Oh yeah, I see.
That was the plan, yeah.
But I definitely missed the much stronger bishop g6, which would have been of some interest.
Yeah, I mean, that line we ended on earlier, that was interesting. It might go into some endgame.
It's not
that was a critical moment, I guess.
That was the critical moment. If white had anything ever in this game, it was this. And there wasn't any other moment where white stood better. I mean, out of the opening, I think black was fine, and I was flailing. Moves like h3 can't lead to an advantage for white. But after rook c8, I felt like I had to take my opportunity and try to go into a slightly better endgame.
Yeah.
But I'm sure I didn't do it. I didn't play the opening correctly. Probably, h3 was a mistake. I think that h3 was a mistake out of the opening. So if I had played bishop d6, I mean, are there other moves at this point for white?
Yeah, I think h3 is okay. It's h3, I guess, is okay. I think I just have to time it with c5 at some point, I guess, to get counterplay. But
I mean, is e4 a move? Maybe, or no?
Yeah, I don't know if d4 is hanging.
D4 is hanging. Yeah, I see.
Maybe. But then b7.
C5.
C5 here may be a move. Well, that would be similar to what I did. Except, are you saying to give up the pawn in h2? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Because black can take the pawn, take and take the pawn. Black can take the pawn at the end.
Listen, if you move c5, then it targets the queen and the bishop.
And then rook h2.
There's also
Yeah,
rook take h2 is probably safer. Yeah.
Rook takes h2. Yes.
Oh, it's difficult to trap that bishop down there if like f4 or something. It doesn't really happen because black has g5 and knight can come in. So that bishop is not really getting trapped. If the rook takes, bishop takes, and then try to keep the bishop down there, it doesn't really work.
Yeah, I agree.
But just like a strategic consideration for those who doesn't know this position so well, the moment that white plays c5, that's kind of committing. Then you have to make sure that black doesn't break with e5. And then we have all these kind of setup where white then plays f4, and then black would love to play f5, but that's kind of what you prevent by pushing that g pawn to g5. So the ball starts rolling after c5. There's a lot of other moves that comes with that white has to take into account, because try to play c5 here like in the game. Just want to show this idea. Queen takes, and then bishop c7. And what did you play here?
Well, we inserted h3, I believe, kingside castling in g4.
Yeah, well, why didn't I play e5 here? Is that the move on in the game? I think
Let me see. I played h3, which is suspicious.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a good move at all. And then this followed. And then I played g4. I thought this stabilized the position, but maybe not to any advantage. But then rook c8, I felt I had to go for c5, or otherwise I'd be slightly worse.
Yeah, maybe I should have played rook e8, by the way.
Rook a to e8. Rook a to e8.
No, rook f e8.
Oh, rook f8. I see.
Just try some e5.
Mm-hmm.
And then
If black
perhaps
plays, in principle, d takes c4 and c5, black should be better, right? So there's no real advantage to white in, let's say, d takes c4 even, right? Or is there advantage to white in this? Takes at c5. Is this at all better for white?
Yeah, that's kind of what can happen in these positions.
What about knight f4 next?
Yeah, knight f4.
I felt this was going to be comfortable for you, but I wasn't sure. I just didn't know the theory here. I felt this was comfortable, but after rook c8, I thought, okay, I have to go into an endgame. I'm just going to lose this game.
No, I think that was clever what you did. I think rook AC8 is slightly inaccurate because you get this C5, and then because you have the G pawn already up to, you can play G5. So I don't get my knight back to F6 and then E4. That's kind of, that was kind of the point I was trying to make before, that when you're actually ready to play C5 when you do it, I think. So I play slightly inaccurate here. I allow you to build up this big space.
So you were suggesting rook F2E8 as the...
Perhaps, yeah, to be ready to E5 if you close the center.
F4?
Yeah, if F4, then I can maybe switch strategy with bishop B4 here. That's a typical idea, trying to win the control over the E4 square. That might be an idea. I might take the queen first, actually. Let's try to go back one move. Queen takes B3. And then bishop B4. Just an idea. I don't know if I have to take the queen first, but that's...
Bishop G2.
Yeah, maybe I can take on C3 and play knight E4 now. So that's something white always has to consider when white plays F4. There's this E4 square. So white didn't give me, you didn't give me a chance in the game to play this because you played C5 first, so I couldn't get the bishop around.
Yeah.
I think this is okay for black.
Yeah, it looks that way. Looks comfortable. This looks like a comfortable version. Yeah, I'm hesitant about H3. I mean, this is, I'm sure before that I did everything okay, but H3 probably is not the theoretical move. I will have to check back with the new in chess on this.
Yeah.
this I don't think this will earn a lot of critical praise. I think that I would have to try E4 if that at all leads to advantage. And you know, if black takes on E4, then I probably will take with a knight.
Okay.
Take with a knight. Take, and take would be my
to avoid knight G4 and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and this may be playable for white. Queen D4 maybe in the works for black. I'm just not sure. But then I get bishop E3. Well, bishop E3 have queen E5.
Maybe I should take on B3 and rook takes H2, just to get kind of a simplified position. Try to hang on to a pawn.
Take. Yeah, I would venture to say you're probably even here as well.
I wish I could play G3, but I can't.
Yeah, it's always difficult to trap that bishop. It's not really going to happen. Well, you have the center here, so it might.
Yeah, this is also probably even position. There's nothing here. Bishop E2. You probably castle, is that right? Or king E? Well, king E7
looks a little bit. Looks a little bit checks there, right? So maybe castle.
Yeah, castle. So castle.
What about E5? You try to trap the bishop. E5 then bishop G5.
Only F6.
I do have
the bishop. Yeah, I mean it's a serious issue, of course. But maybe just C5.
Yeah, I don't think the bishop will get trapped, but well, we'll see.
Why not?
Probably won't. You're right. Probably won't get trapped.
Because C5 looks like interesting. Undermining E5.
What about B5?
What about which move?
B5.
Yeah, that weakens a lot, and white can take that pawn. So white can take the pawn on B5, I guess.
Up on F6.
That looks possible.
That's a move I would like to play when I have to, because my pawn structure over there is so solid. So I like C5 because it's kind of a move I can play without giving away too much. I still have my solid position there, and undermining E5 that would activate my pieces. So I like C5 here.
Then bishop E1.
Bishop E1.
Yeah, to go G3.
But the D4 is hanging here. The structure is hanging on D4.
You let him take, then you go G3. Then bishop F2.
So even if you play rook H1, okay.
Wait, I think black
there's a lot of dynamics here. D3, why not?
D3. Black is stabilizes with D3.
Anyway, when you sacrifice that pawn, I could also have played bishop f4 check and then taken on d4 earlier. I mean, there were so many options.
True. Bishop f4 is very strong here.
And then take the pawn, and then e5 is hanging. So trapping that bishop never really works.
Yeah. Interesting. So bishop h6. If e4 doesn't accomplish anything, I'm not even sure what the exact move here that I should play. I mean, there's so many moves in this position, but I mean, this h3 looks like a chickenish move, just getting the pawn away from attack. But maybe that is a reasonable move. Maybe there's simply no advantage. I mean, could I sacrifice the pawn with queen c2?
Yeah, that's an option. It's not the worst pawn to lose on h2, but
yeah, I mean, just sacking the pawn, playing c5 and e4. I mean, this may be toward advantage white.
Yeah, so rook takes h2 is.
Rook takes h2 is critical, but c5 appears dangerous, right?
Ah, c5 right away. Yeah.
Why don't we play dc and then rook h2?
It's conceivable, but again, take rook h1 is dangerous, or could be dangerous.
Bishop d6.
Bishop d6 is available.
That's a really bad bishop.
Well, I have a pawn here, but white has some activity. It's just the thing is, black is so solid after this pawn structure is okay, but you have compensation here. Just the question is how much.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, but I do think rook ac8 was a little bit inaccurate. That gave you something to go.
White can go queen to d3.
D3 with the idea of doing what?
With e4 after.
Yeah, it's defending d4. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, in this position, I would consider things like, knight e4, but it's not certain that white has very much after that.
So let's say queen d3, for instance, just like make a move. Let's say white plays e4 there. I think I will castle now.
Castle, yeah, black is solid.
And then if e4, fine. Then e5, I guess. No,
then
not
you
e5.
Play e4. Then you play e4.
Then e4.
Okay, I cannot play e5 here so well because f7 is hanging. So that I should have played this differently, I guess. So I shouldn't have castled right away, I think.
How's that?
Yeah, but I can play e5 now, right? I guess. I could try to do it. Maybe it's, I don't know, should be a little bit careful opening up the position. You have rook h8 and stuff like that.
Wait,
Yeah.
Can you castle again?
Yeah, because after
e3 castles, e4 and bishop e7 probably holds everything.
And then you not play e5. Can you play e5?
No, knight takes. Knight takes d, rook d3, ef, rook takes c3, and black wins.
No, before. Not bishop e7.
Oh, b4. Yeah, that looks correct.
No, I'm saying e5. Right there.
e5? No, knight e5.
I mean, before bishop d6.
e4, then e5 afterwards.
Oh, bishop d6. And the question is e4 immediately?
That is a pawn sacrifice.
That leaves the pawn sacrificing.
That's why white played queen d3 before.
What he meant was queen d3 and then castles e4, e5 for black.
Oh, okay. E4, E5.
And then f7 is, yeah, okay.
And you can take on d4
probably,
afterwards.
this is holding. I mean, I can't take on f7 because of pawn takes.
And then knight e7.
Knight a4. It's not very pleasant for black.
Queen b5, maybe.
Queen b5. Yes, queen b5 still available.
And we're definitely not gonna trade, right?
And then knight jumps to e5. That looks very active. Oh, okay. Bishop e6 check.
Not bad.
I don't think queen b5 is good.
Queen b5 is not good. Why?
Because I think it traps your own knight.
I mean, what do I do? Queen b3. I mean, black is in good shape. Yeah, this looks fine for black. I mean, in principle, if there is something it's something here, and it's probably involving like g4. So if black castles, now I can exile the knight with a g5. Force
Probably play knight d5 here, I guess.
Knight d5, then play knight e4, and I prefer white in the long run in this position, but maybe it's balanced.
Yeah, so the knight has to move at some point if you want to kick my knight on d5 away. I guess bishop e7 here.
Bishop e7, f4.
Oh, that's the idea.
F5.
F5 is interesting indeed. Indeed.
We're definitely not going to play df.
But if I don't want to, yeah, I could also consider c5, maybe king b8.
C5, yes, c5 is also.
I think I have options here.
Yeah, this probably holds for black. I'm beginning to feel as if this is sound for black.
Go f5, and then knight c3.
Yeah, this I like for white. This I definitely would like with white. I mean, black has trouble organizing. Black has trouble with the many pieces, managing the many pieces here. But it's possible the black is holding.
There's also e4. I compromise my pawn structure here, so maybe white can play e4 here.
Oh, e4. Yeah.
Oh, there's knight b4 and queen takes d4. But in principle, the pawns there. I would like to keep my pawn on f7 for a little bit longer. But okay.
I wouldn't believe if someone played king c7 before bishop e7.
Sorry, what was the question?
Like at like when the bishop was on d6. I don't know. I wouldn't have believed if king c7 was really good. I mean, after knight d6, king d6, probably e4.
Yeah, we don't want the king on d6 with the queen still on the board. That looks dangerous.
Knight e7, bishop f4.
Yeah, this looks balanced. I mean, I agree here. I agree here that this at least I don't see a knockout. I mean, if you put it on an engine, it might disagree, or it might agree. I mean, also bishop e7 looks right. F4, king b8. I don't think black is suffering too terribly here. Again, if I have played something like queen a4, then bishop b4 probably keeps the balance. I think it's an equilibrium. I think black is doing okay here.
White has the bishop pair, but black is extremely solid. So, all right. Well, I guess that's it.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the game.
All right, thank you so much, guys, for the game. Okay, so we'll see you at 6 for round number 3. Okay,
right.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for the game. Bye.
Bye.
Wait, Ken. About with that 7. My thing says it's at 7 o'clock.
No, last round is 6 p.m.
It says 7 on the paper you gave me.
Okay, so that's wrong. So it should be 6 p.m. Okay?
Okay.
Round number 3 is 6. Okay, bye, everyone.